This is Portland International Airport's massive new terminal. The roof, the wood, the glass, it's already being talked about as one of the most impressive airport upgrades in America. But I wanted to know what this project actually fixed, because airports don't spend over $2 billion just to look better. And with PDX now right on the edge of fully opening this rebuild to the public, the real question is whether Portland built a better airport or just a prettier one. To understand why this upgrade matters, you really have to start with what PDX was originally built to do. Before the site became Portland International, the city's main airport was Swan Island. But by the mid-1930s, its runways were already too short for newer commercial aircraft. So the port purchased roughly 700 acres at the current site and built what it called a super airport with 6 runways. Portland Columbia Airport opened in October 1940. By 1941, it had already served about 99,000 passengers. A decade later, traffic had quadrupled, and the airport took on the Portland International name. And I give you all this history only because the airport we think of as the modern PDX was never really built all at once. It was built in layers, in constant response to increasing passenger counts. By 1960, the airport was already up to just short of 900,000 annual passengers. By 1970, that was 2.5 million. Fast forward to 1990, it was 6.4. By 2000, it had doubled again to 13.8 million. To keep up, the port added or remodeled concourses across the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, then linked the north and south concourses behind security in 2005. So for decades, the basic strategy was adaptation. Add on, expand, and keep the same terminal family alive as demand kept changing. And over time, that surprisingly produced something people genuinely liked. PDX built a reputation as a calmer airport, a more human airport, one that felt far less generic than most terminals. Public space design was purposefully chosen to try and reduce the inherent stress of travel and create a strong sense of place so travelers immediately understand they're in the Pacific Northwest. That's a pretty unusual standard for an airport. But that's also where the problem starts, because once an airport becomes known for being pleasant, it's easy to assume the underlying system is healthy as well. You can have an airport that feels good in parts, but whose core operating logic is getting older, tighter, and less flexible every year. That's basically what happened here. The terminal kept getting upgraded, but the heart of the building still traced back to much older assumptions about passenger flow, pre-security retail, baggage systems, and what airport processing was supposed to look like. So in 2010, the port released a master plan vision for the airport that recognized this reality, and by 2018, they had built a strategy around this. That strategy had these 4 goals, and feel free to pause if you want to read them. Known as the Terminal Core Redevelopment Program, it was a complete modernization of the heart of PDX, needing to ensure enough capacity for future passenger demand, upgrade seismic resiliency, and replace aging systems and infrastructure. But I want to make this point because it's pretty unusual compared to a lot of the other airport projects this channel covers. The airport's existing runways, gates, and concourses have enough capacity to serve future passenger demand for at least the next 10 years. The weak point was all the various types of processing I've been alluding to. Now, let's talk about the layout. The old PDX was laid out as a much tighter central processor. From the curb, passengers entered the ticket lobby, and directly behind that sat the Oregon Market and Food Court area, in between the 2 security checkpoints. So check-in, queuing, the main pre-security concession space, and screening were all packed into the same older core, with baggage claim below on the arrivals level. The new layout pushes that whole process outward and spreads it apart. The Terminal Core Redevelopment extends the building about 180 feet to the west, moves the security checkpoints into that new western expansion, and removes the old roof and mezzanine. It also reorients the ticket counters 90 degrees into a flow-through check-in layout and shifts the post-security concession nodes farther west to match the new circulation pattern. So the passenger path changes to a clearer and easier sequence. The project, as I mentioned, removes the old roof and mezzanine over the terminal core. These were replaced by a new clear span roof, which is the world's largest mass timber roof. And I know I've been trying to focus on function over form, but I have to talk about this thing. It's roughly 9 acres or nearly 400,000 square feet, supported by 34 Y-shaped columns on a 100-foot by 100-foot grid. It's made up of over 3 million board feet of Douglas fir, entirely sourced from within 600 miles of the airport. And I think I can objectively say it looks amazing. It also frees up a lot of space. The old terminal had 670 columns, and as I just mentioned, the new one has just 34. Those 34 columns are helping the airport in another important way. Because PDX sits in Cascadia earthquake country, one of the goals was to build a more resilient structure. The columns sit on seismic isolation bearings that allow it to move during an earthquake, designed to keep the terminal at an immediate occupancy level even after a magnitude 9 event. The new roof was built on the ground across the airfield, then moved into place in giant prefabricated sections. The broader terminal program totals about 1 million square feet of new and renovated space, with the terminal becoming about 40% larger. Heading to the lower level, baggage was also a major part of the upgrade. While the layout is still very similar to what existed before, some crucial things have changed behind the scenes. The old baggage handling system had more than 6.5 miles of conveyor belts and over 5,000 control devices. Its shared check bag resolution area had breached capacity, did not meet current TSA standards, and could not be expanded where it was. As part of the project, the airport had to extend conveyor connections west to match the new ticketing layout, and upgrade the controls from an older system to a new platform. Beyond circulation and baggage, the project also upgraded the building systems and public environment. The terminal includes 49 skylights, 36-foot-high window walls, about 72 mature trees, and roughly 5,000 plants. It also added a ground source heat pump system, reducing energy use per square foot by more than 50%. So the project changed 5 big things at once: the terminal footprint, the check-in and security layout, the baggage system, the concessions and exits, and the structural and energy systems that support the building. Separately, because I haven't mentioned anything about it yet, Concourse B was extended and A was demolished. This added 1 extra contact gate and 6 new ground load positions, along with some other upgrades to help passenger flow. The physical build-out also was not a total teardown. About 70% of the redevelopment consists of remodeled space inside existing buildings, while about 30% comes from the western expansion. The completed main terminal project just about doubles capacity and is designed to support as many as 35 million passengers annually by 2045. Let's talk about some data from this, then we'll get into the most controversial part of the video. PDX set an all-time passenger record of 19.8 million travelers in 2018. Then COVID slammed the brakes, and it's been creeping back up since. The latest 2024 numbers show about 22.8 million passengers for the year. Interestingly, even with the dip, the airport's current level is basically right in line with the 50th percentile forecast from the 2010 master plan. Then there's the cost, because this project got expensive fast. In November 2017, airlines approved $950 million for Phase 1, which covered the western expansion, the new roof, and the Concourse B extension. In August 2019, they approved another $700 million for Phase 2, including the ticket lobby renovation and post-security concession nodes. Then in June 2022, they approved another $500 million to finish the project. That meant that the port was showing a roughly $2.15 billion budget. And based on my experience covering airport projects, once these numbers climb into the hundreds of millions, or in this case past 2 billion, people want to know they're getting a real return. That was the original question I posed at the start of the video. Did this project actually change anything functional? And based on everything we've covered, I think the answer is yes. The more careful question is whether it was worth it. And that's probably something only time can fully answer. But that's what makes PDX such an interesting project. People already loved this airport before the rebuild, so the challenge was not preserving that. It was spending a large sum of money and coming out the other side with something that actually works better for people as well. As of today, the airport is finishing the last phase of its rebuild, wrapping up the north and south terminal nodes while crews complete the roof, the seismic isolation system, and the remaining interior and retail spaces. Passengers are still moving through temporary detours, but all of this work winds down into mid-2026 as the airport shifts from a half-open construction zone into the fully completed main terminal. So now I'm interested to hear from you, and please feel free to comment below. Do you think that this project was worth it? I'm Josh, this is Buildcore, thanks for watching.